Hello, magical people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Meg Moonbeam, and today we're going to get into our weekend astrology horoscope for Friday, November 21st, going into Sunday, November 23rd. Hope everybody's doing well. We are finally exiting Scorpio season, which, as a Scorpio, I'm actually happy about. This has been felt like a very intense, long, drawn out Scorpio season. So I'm ready for some of these Saggy vibes, Sun entering Sagittarius with Mars in Sagittarius and the moon in Sagittarius as we start the weekend. So we're going to get all into our astrology transits for the weekend ahead. And before we get into it, I'd really appreciate if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, consider leaving a comment below to help with the channel's growth. And also really excited for my upcoming 2026 astrology webinar for all 12 signs. Thank you so much to everyone that has signed up already. And we've got, I think, just over a week left of our 10% off discount code. You can use code 2026, the numbers 2026, to get 10% off until November 30th. And this is an annual 4-day webinar that I do on the Gregorian year ahead for each of the sun, moon, and rising signs. We're going to get into in-depth forecasting, predictions, and I do it live. So it's very fun, interactive. I can answer your questions. You can go sign up at megmoonbeam.com. And also, surprise, oh, why isn't this coming up? What the heck? Mercury retrograde. Bear with me one second here, you guys. Here we go. Also, surprise, Sunny from Pluto and I are going to do a Scorpling Shop Crystal Super live sale for early Black Friday time. So we're going to be live today at 4 p.m. Eastern and also Saturday, tomorrow, November 22nd at 4 p.m. Eastern, 30% off on all Christie's. And we'll also have some special Christie's. Maybe Sunny will even have some of her new handmade juju available. So we'll be live on my Meg Moonbeam YouTube, Sunny from Pluto YouTube, and Scorpling Shop Instagram as well. So that will be very, very fun. So we have a lot going on this weekend, a lot of good stuff. Thank God. Honestly, this Scorpio season, this has been intense. Sun enters Sagittarius at just after 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time today on Friday, November 21st, as I'm filming this video. Thank God. This new moon in Scorpio, before we even get into what's coming up for the weekend ahead. Okay. Hello, Tamara. Nice to see you. Can we just acknowledge everything? Well, probably not everything, but some of the really big takeaways that this new moon in Scorpio has brought up. This is crazy, you guys. If you watch my stuff on a regular basis, then you will know that I've been saying for over the past week, get ready, because this new moon in Scorpio is going to reveal some big ass secrets that might be a little bit uncomfortable. We have breaking: the CDC reverses 30 years of denial. The CDC website now admits the claim vaccines do not cause autism was never evidence-based. Studies have not ruled out infant vaccines have as a cause of autism. Evidence has ignored this. HHS has opened a full investigation into biological mechanisms and causal links. This is the biggest health reversal of our lifetime. On the new moon in Scorpio. This is now what the CDC website looks like. It now says on the website that told us, stay indoors, 6 feet apart, wear your mask, go get those shots. Now says the claim vaccines do not cause autism is not an evidence-based claim because studies have not ruled out the possibility that infant vaccines cause autism. This is huge. That's just one thing. That is just one thing. We've also got Well, that's another X post about that again. We've also got UK Yasu vindicated. Bow, chicka, wow, 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 wow. We're vindicated. Daily Mail in the UK. This is from yesterday as well, or the day before. Yen sent me this. UK health chiefs accused of cover up after failing to reveal data that may link COVID jabs to excess deaths. So basically, come out in the mainstream UK news that health chiefs are covering up the excess deaths from people who have shots. Huge. We also have, if that's not enough for you guys on this Scorpio new moon we just had, if that's not enough for you, yes, MJ, it's an avalanche of truth. Breaking, Candace Owens just went there. Brigitte Macron may have ordered Charlie Kirk's assassination to protect herself and her ties to the very much still active MK Ultra program. Candace dropped a nuke tonight that no one saw was coming. On September 8th, her team was quietly reopening Brigitte Season 2, digging into whether Brigitte Macron was directly tied to the Stanford MK Ultra experiments, the Protected Prisoner 2093, and a still operational program that allegedly creates serial killers and gives them new identities to operate freely in Western countries. Emmanuel Macron's own lawsuit against French journalists mentioned MK Ultra 18 times, which Candace found insanely suspicious. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Let's listen to a little bit what Candace has to say about this, who I think has been doing excellent journalism lately. I told you guys the secrets were going to get dropped. And there's more to come. There's more to come. Isn't it interesting that literally also on the day of the new moon in Scorpio, President Trump signed the bill that the Epstein files must be released within the next 30 days. Now, hopefully there's no redactions. We'll see about that. Let's take a little bit of a listen to Candace here. It's just like overload. It's just been an overload of scorpionic secrets, and it feels like it is heavy, to be honest with you guys. I don't know if you guys are feeling that, but like this whole Epstein thing, it's heavy, it's icky, it's weird. I think it's even darker than we realize if you listen to Juliette Bryant. Let's take a little listen to Candace. Just nuts.
We're getting very close to something, as we had started on September 8th, by the way, are Becoming Brigitte Season 2. And we were looking at how unusual it was that a dog was barking a bit too loud, a thief that nobody was pursuing was running. And that was us discussing the MK Ultra program, and Brigitte Macron, strangely, and Emmanuel mentioning MK Ultra in the lawsuit to us 18 times, struck us as odd, as we were trying to determine whether or not it could have been Brigitte Macron that was involved in that Stanford experiment, this prisoner, 2093, that was being protected. We didn't know why this prisoner was being protected. We sent somebody there. There seemed to be more. And what really terrifies me is that if my inclination that Xavier Poussard's messages have been being read and tracked for longer than I even realized, and that's the reason they initially sent that cease and desist in December, was to ward me off sitting down with Xavier Poussard, then what we hadn't yet presented to the audience, but what we were investigating on the back end, if they were aware of that, it really makes me wonder if we were on the right track. And it was something that was so sinister, involving maybe another step of the MK Ultra program being used to foster serial killers and to give serial killers new identities and allowing them to run in countries. That was kind of conversations that I was having in the background with Xavier. And we thought that we had perhaps identified Brigitte Macron at Stanford University, a possibility is what I would say. We were maybe at a 50-50%. And then suddenly Charlie Kirk gets assassinated, and it totally throws us off of the scent entirely, because we're trying to figure out what happened to Charlie. And now, strangely, trying to figure out what happened to Charlie has brought us back to a France question, right? Why on earth did France move? I mean, who wants to lease a hangar in Wilmington, Delaware for 2 years to paint planes? Ostensibly, we're supposed to believe that this was a maintenance stop. But as the tip proved to us yesterday, that wasn't the case. That was a front, because that had not been operative from 2021 all the way forward to the end of 2024. So literally, that plane was still making stops in Wilmington, Delaware, and there was no lease to that. And these were federally controlled waterways where that hangar is situated. And we learned that this is a building where there's cooperation between the feds, Homeland Security, and also contractors, independent contractors, which means people that are not a part of our government's apparatus. So the question becomes, who was the foreign dignitary that was escorted on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination to 920 King Street? Is it plausible that for whatever reason, Charlie allowing Tucker Carlson to hit the station to say that made Charlie a bigger problem than us? I have to tell you,
I just have to pause. This is so much. Woo, deep breaths. This is so much this Scorpio season. And we're still in Mercury retrograde in Scorpio for a while. What's the date? For a while. Let me check when Mercury goes back into Sagittarius, because Mercury retrograde is over November 30th. Let me check the actual date here on my astrology program, because I don't have it memorized at the top of my head. When Mercury goes back into Sag, what day is that? It's just so much coming to the surface. It's vindication, December 11th. So from now until December 11th, we've still got Mercury in Scorpio, and Mercury will be retrograde in Scorpio, very strong until the 30th. It's vindication, and it's awesome, but it's also like, holy Toledo, this is a lot. This is a lot to take in at the same time. I think breaks are very, very important throughout the day from all the disclosures. I'm trying my best to just kind of look once or twice a day at what the heck is going on. But there's still more to come in December 11th. So that's before the 30 days are up, before the Epstein files need to be released. So that's going to be really interesting to see what comes up with that. I'm so happy that we've got the sun ingressing into Sagittarius today. We're going into the light after this new moon in Scorpio, after this beautiful but heavy duty new moon in Scorpio that for some of us might have felt like, yes, a huge breakthrough and very healing and cleansing, purifying, enlightening, but could also feel like a little bit of a dark night of the soul time. So we're out of the death of Scorpio season. We're into the light and the expansiveness of Sagittarius season. Happy birthday, solar return to all our Saggies out there. Do we have any Saggy Waggies out there? So we are reborn out of the Scorpio energy into Sagittarius season, which is a time of our consciousness being expanded. It's more optimism, hope, positive energy. Sagittarius, of course, is luck, higher learning. And when we're in Sagittarius season, it often coincides with many major holidays, right? Such as American Thanksgiving, winter solstice, Christmas. Christmas is actually in Capricorn season, but the lead up to Christmas. Oh, we got a lot of Saggies in the chat. Wow. And this Sagittarius season, it's interesting because Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn, all retrograde, back in their water and earth signs. Saturn, thank God, is going to be going direct on November 27th. Thank goodness about that. But from now until February 2026, we may experience significant themes of reflecting on the past, tying up loose ends from the past with these three outer planets back in the signs that they've been in for quite a while. I know I say this all the time, but I cannot wait for these outer planets to fully go into their fire and air signs next year, you guys. This is going to be such a positive energy shift. Oh, cool. We've got a Sagittarius from Sedona in the chat. Very, very cool. What I like about this Sagittarius season with the outer planets back in their water, earth signs other than Pluto, he's in Aquarius full on, is Sagittarius's upliftment and the higher perspective, positivity. So it's a lot lighter than in Scorpio season, which is literally the sign that rules death and intensity and crisis and the dark night of the soul. I think overall, this Sagittarius season has a lot of really nice astrological aspects, especially near to the end of it. Well, sorry, except for at the end of it when we're going to have the sun in square to Granddaddy Saturn, as well as Neptune in Pisces. So this Sagittarius season, I am really, really feeling good about it. Let's uplift the vibes. Let's go into the higher perspective. We want to be mindful. Dark side of Sagittarius is beliefs. Well, actually, that's not the dark side. Sagittarius rules beliefs. And part of the dark side is being so addicted or attached to a belief that may not even make sense anymore. Holding on to beliefs because that's what's been programmed into us from an external source, right? So this Sagittarius season, it's going to bring up a lot around religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, philosophical beliefs that no longer serve us, new ones that do. Green Eyed Crow says blunt truths. Yes, Sagittarius is also blunt truths and one of the signs that rules freedom, freedom and higher truths. Very, very important. Also rules travel. And we've got Mercury retrograde up until November 30th in the Sagittarius season. So wonky for travel until we go into December. And then thank God Mercury will be direct. I think it'll be a lot better for travel moving forward from that. So yay, today sun ingresses into Sagittarius. We've also got this beautiful, beautiful grand water trine between Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, and Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Around the new moon and the days leading up to that, we had a beautiful grand water trine with the sun, also with Mercury. Now it's just with Mercury. So again, this theme of important in-depth conversations, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, in-depth truths being revealed from the past. This is going to be an ongoing theme. And some of those can be uncomfortable truths coming up, weird ass truths like what Candace Owens just said about Brigitte Macron possibly being a part of assassinating Charlie Kirk, allegedly. I mean, that's freaking nuts. Crazy. We got nice aspects, all good aspects this weekend, you guys. Saturday, Mercury trine Jupiter, that beautiful grand water trine. On Sunday, Sun sextile Pluto, Moon in Sagittarius and Capricorn this weekend. So I think this is a weekend where energy is lighting up. We are coming on the other side of this Scorpio season. It's not a weekend about heaviness. It's not a weekend about, needing to be in the intense scorpionic depths anymore. This is about do something light, do something to uplift, or multiple things to uplift your energy, be in expansion, see the higher perspective, do something fun, be open to positivity, be open to more optimism, luck as well. Sagittarius is luck. And this is empowering. Sun sextile Pluto, that is a badass aspect. On Sunday, Sun 1 degree Sagittarius in sextile to Pluto 1 degrees of Aquarius. So this can be positive news also with that Mercury in trine to Jupiter in Cancer for countries, for patriots, for Cancer ruled countries, Scorpio ruled countries. I think there can be major changes in immigration policies this weekend and going into next week as well. So this is good stuff. This is a good energy. Yay. I'm happy about it. MJ says, I also saw RFK Jr. say this week, the vaccines were responsible for some food allergies, peanuts, for example. That is huge news too. Yeah, RFK Jr. is just kicking butt. I think he's doing an amazing job right now. Linda says, when is the December monthly astrology going to be? I'm going to be putting that out next Thursday, I think. So stay tuned for that. I'm always very happy when I can share with you guys that genuinely there's some positive vibes. Yay. It is not too heavy this weekend. Thank goodness. We may feel like today at the beginning of the weekend, like we're in a little bit of a hangover from this new moon in Scorpio, but just be really mindful what you're putting your energy into, what you're doing. Just do uplifting things this weekend. And we still got that Mercury retrograde. So be mindful of that. Okay. And I also, before we get into the cards, I also want to share some positive news coming from Alberta. Danielle Smith has introduced the Jordan B. Peterson Law, Bill 13 in Alberta, speaking freely without fear. Thank goodness. Take a listen to this.
Today, we are introducing Bill 13, the Regulated Professions Neutrality Act. This is common sense legislation that would recognize that everyone should have the right to express their personal views freely. No professional should fear losing their license, their reputation, or their livelihood because of a personal opinion, a social media post, an interview, or open dialogue outside of working hours. These changes come after one of the most notable cases of professional regulators punishing an individual for comments made outside of a professional setting, and that is Dr. Jordan Peterson. Dr. Peterson was sanctioned and ordered to undertake a so-called re-education program in order to maintain his credentials for statements he had made outside of a clinical psychology setting. Similar notable cases have involved nurses, doctors, and teachers that have been punished, sanctioned, or have had their licenses threatened for comments that they have made on social media, at protests, or even at meetings of local city councils. We looked at these cases and asked an important question. Are regulators still focused on public safety and professional competence, or are some of them overstepping to enforce ideological conformity and to silence public discourse? The bill,
total opposite to most of the rest of Canada. In Ottawa, they want to put through bills to take away your freedom of speech, basically completely. So, woohoo, Alberta. Thank goodness for Alberta. I'm so excited to see what's going to be happening to Alberta coming up. It's nice to have some good news. It's nice to have some positive vibes. So let's pull some cards for our weekend ahead as we start this Sagittarius season. We've got all nice aspects, really nice aspects. Okay, what's our guidance as we go into the weekend? Judgment, judgment, Two of Pentacles, Page of Swords. Oh, is that the 10 of Cups or the 9 of Cups? I always forget. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of Cups. Judgment. Well, I feel like we've been in a judgment, and the judgment is continuing with this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio until November 30th. But thank God we're out of Sun in Scorpio, honestly. So now that Sun is going into Sagittarius, we've got the Moon in Sag this weekend, going into Capricorn. Not as heavy. We can handle it more. And it's important, again, for us to pay attention to where we're putting our energy in these are the judgment days. These are the days of judgment. These are revelation days, right? 2 of Pentacles. There can be options. I feel like options, different perspectives coming up. The energy is really changing now that the Sun is going into Sagittarius. Be open to different options and things coming up, but we don't want to make any huge decisions. Remember that Mercury is retrograde. Okay, so we don't want to be in Page of Swords naivete when it comes to important decisions, but there is a lot of information coming forward that is important for us to take in and pay attention to. And 9 of Cups. Yay, happiness, joy, wishes fulfilled. So this is a fun energy. Let loose, have some fun. Don't take things so seriously. Let's consciously step out of this Scorpio season, like shake it off and step into the light of Sag. And we don't have that much longer. What, 9 more days of Mercury retrograde? Saturn goes direct next week. So we're going to get out of this big retrograde city that we've been in pretty soon. That will be really, really good. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining me. And just a reminder again that Sunny from Pluto and I will be live at 4 p.m. Eastern today, Friday, November 21st, and tomorrow, Saturday, November 22nd, for our early Black Friday live crystal sale. Woohoo! 30% off everything. So join us on the Meg Moonbeam or Sunny from Pluto YouTube or Rumble channels. We'll also be on the Scorpling Shop Instagram, and check out my 2026 astrology predictions webinar. Very, very excited. Going to be December 4th, 5th, 7th, and 8th, 4 days of in-depth astrological predictions for each of the 12 signs. I think it's a very good price, and I think it's very of value for the price that it is, if I don't say so myself. So just saying, discount code 2026 for that webinar until November 3rd is still active. And if you'd like to have a personal astrology reading with me, give the gift of astrology. I have astrology reading gift certificates also available on my website. Those are over at megmoonbeam.com. Love you all so much. Sending lots of cosmic love your way, and see you later for our crystal live sale for anybody joining in on that, and Monday for our next astrology horoscope video. Bye, everybody. Have a magical weekend.